Hello everyone, I am so excited for today's video. This room is about to smell freaking amazing because I'm going to be talking all about gourmand perfumes. I feel like I've tried like every new gourmand out there. I know that's not true, but it's a lot here. I've definitely been loving those vanillas, something sweet, something kind of edible. Like those have been the perfumes that I've been after, and I know a lot of you guys have liked those too. So I hope any of my thoughts will help you guys out, maybe put you on to some new stuff. I'm going to start with the Fugazzi. This is Vanilla Haze. I got this off of Niche Beauty. I knew a vanilla perfume was coming. I was really excited for it, and I have to say this one has grown on me over time. The first time I smelled this, I definitely got something a little animalic. Like it is kind of custardy, which I love. It has that kind of, should we say funk? I don't know, but like custardy fragrances are definitely something I'm drawn to, and this has that in there, but it's also powdery. It's a little almondy, but not in a cherry way, very vanilla, and it has almost a muskiness to it, but that muskiness is a little animalic, I have to say. Some similar perfumes, I feel like this is almost a mix of Bianca Latte and Tom Ford Vanilla Sex with a little bit of custard, you know, like that's what I get in between those. For a full list of notes on this, there's almond, coconut milk, hazelnut, mandarin, vanilla pod, tonka bean, jasmine, caramel, cashmere wood, amber, and musk. I feel like I'm definitely getting the tonka bean. I feel like that's adding to almost this kind of powderiness in here. I don't know if the coconut milk is giving it kind of that custardy thing. I don't necessarily pick up on something specifically coconut in this, and there are some other fragrances here that have that kind of coconut note, and I do pick that up, but not necessarily in here, at least not for me. And this is one, I'm telling you, when I first smelled it I was a little scared, but since then I mean there's a dent going in this, and I've really been enjoying it. I don't pick up on that animalic thing anymore. I don't know if my nose has just gotten accustomed to it or what, but I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful because it's one of the reasons that Tom Ford Vanilla Sex just doesn't work for me. There's this tiny part of the vanilla almond that I like, but then everything else in there is just like, ugh, it's just not how I want it to be done. And I feel like this is the good version of that. This is what Vanilla Sex could have been for me. So I'm very happy with this. I would love to know your guys' thoughts though. I feel like I get some decent wear time on it as well. Not as long as Bianca Latte, that thing is like indestructible, but I have really enjoyed it, and I think it's a nice vanilla addition to the market. And I feel like it's still kind of in the Fugazzi line. Like it makes sense within their line how it's done. So that one I truly love, and I'll put asterisks in the description box for the ones that I'm like, these I would repurchase again right now, knowing what I know now, having tried them, all that. Because sometimes I'm just reviewing stuff, and even if I kind of like it or whatnot, it might not be a true love, but I feel like that Vanilla Haze, it's in the true love category. Like I'm very happy to have it in my collection. All right, next let's talk about Chelsea Morning from Lush. A lot of you guys recommended this to me because I really loved Super Milk, which is like a hair conditioner, and it smells so good. It's slightly lemony, but then it just has this kind of milky and just sweet addictive smell to it. I just love it so much. And you guys were saying Chelsea Morning is basically Super Milk, and I had to get other people involved. Okay, I got my mom to send this to me. I couldn't find it here in LA, and it is so good. I will say I feel like the kind of lemony scent on this, it's quite a strong burst at the beginning of this fragrance, and to me it was stronger than it is in the Super Milk, but it goes away and I don't mind that. I just was kind of shocked. I thought it was going to be more similar, but past that is this almost kind of toasted, milky, just yummy scent. It is so delicious. It's kind of caramely almost to me. I actually don't know the straight up notes in this, so I'll look those up in a second, but I get something almost toasted and caramely, not necessarily milky, but I do feel like this is just the stronger, more condensed version of Super Milk. I would definitely try to scope this out, maybe smell it in store. In general, there's a lot of stuff at Lush right now that is just delicious smelling, and I feel like this is also pretty much a powerhouse. Like it just lasts a long time. I find with a lot of Lush scents, which I'll talk about in a second, they can definitely be a little overpowering depending on how you're spraying them. So maybe not something you want to overspray. It's very gourmand. This is almost like an extreme gourmand to me, where it is super edible, super food-like. Okay, looking at notes, here we go. Lemon, toffee, vanilla, tonka bean, there's fenugreek, and myrtle. I do not know what that is. It says it's a spice. So toffee and lemon, I'm picking up on that. That vanilla, it's just sticky, yummy, delicious. Again, a little toasted. So good, so freaking good. So happy to have this. This is like my first bottle besides my Yog Nog, which is gonna get me into the other Lush products because I went in there very recently. I did get the body spray of Yog Nog. I wanted a fresh one of these because I love this scent. I have some of the perfume vials. I would love to get it in an actual big bottle, but they just, how they come out with Yog Nog, it's just, you never know. You never know how it's gonna come out each year. And this one's more custardy to me. This one has that kind of, if you will, funk, but also some more spices to it. It doesn't necessarily have that lemony scent, and also kind of goes a little more almost cherry and kind of almondy in a way. I absolutely love this. They have it also in the body wash right now, so just wanted to shout out Yog Nog is back. But what I was really going in store for was the Sticky Dates scrub. I got a sample of this when the perfume was purchased, and it was so good, you guys. This also smelled kind of like, everything smells like freaking toffee to me, but this also smelled like toffee, and this is what the scrub looks like. I've already put it in my shower. I'm already using it up. It is so good. There's something about the way this smells. It almost comes across in the shower like a vanilla extract. It almost could be boozy, but I also almost get a coffee note. I don't know. It's just so yummy in the shower. And it's kind of like almost a cookie dough consistency. So I just get some of that in my hands and I kind of cup my hand and rub my body down. That's how I use it. Love this. Love it so much. Really excited for this in my shower, especially going into winter. And I also got the Sticky Dates shower gel. I had this, but the one I had was going off. It just was smelling a little stale. And when I smelled this in store, it confirmed it for me. I was like, yeah, that thing. It's maybe time. But I feel like they've also made this even more delicious. I don't know. I feel like Sticky Dates, I bought that a couple years ago at this point, and to me, it felt more almost like nutty, and although it was sweet and sticky, it had almost like a more realistic scent to it. This smells a little bit more, yeah, like amped up and like more extreme of a gourmand in a way. But if you thought this was extreme, I'm telling you, the scrub to me, slightly different and even more like delicious, I swear. Okay, and last Lush thing, I also wanted to shout out Snow Fairy because this is a limited edition scent that comes back every holiday. This is kind of bubblegummy though, so it's not going to be like a dessert in the same way a lot of the other things are, like vanilla or chocolate or caramel. This is like bubblegum candy, okay? It is so sweet. You have to love like a sweet, sweet scent. It's strong too. And they came out with 3 different body washes this year. I decided to go with the milkshake one. It says it has oat milk in it. So I thought I would try that one out, and it just has a slightly more creamy note to it with that kind of candy bubblegum scent, which I kind of like. It kind of softened it because, again, that one's intense. I don't think it's going to be for everyone, but if you like Snow Fairy, it is at Lush now, and they just have a lot of delicious scents out. Okay, I feel like we kind of got distracted with the Lush stuff. On to some other perfumes though. I have this one from Liis. This is called Choux, and I was really excited for this. A lot of you let me know about it, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, you know, I like the Liis DNA in general. It's usually very light and airy, and I feel like a gourmand is definitely not their style necessarily, so I figured this would be sweet, but maybe more like the Jo Malone Ginger Biscuit, where it's kind of airy still, and I feel like that's kind of what's going on here. Okay, listen to the notes, you guys. This has whipped cream, lemon zest, caramel vanilla salt, cocoa sandalwood, and mocha. Now, if you're looking for some dense gourmand, I don't think this is going to be for you. This definitely has a showery quality to it. I for sure pick up on the lemon in here. It's kind of a clean smelling whipped cream, but not overly creamy. I wouldn't even say the caramel or the cocoa or even the mocha that's in here necessarily are super prominent and, again, like sticky and totally edible. I feel like it's still kind of pretty and dainty, and I think the best comparison I would give this is Heavy Cream from Fleur. I feel like this is the refined version of that scent. When I've been wanting a gourmand that's not too much, I've been reaching for this one, and I also feel like this could be a really good year-round one as well. So it's not one you're only gonna have to wear during the winter. I feel like this could totally work in summer, as long as you're down with some whipped cream, you know? But I have been enjoying this. I'm really happy they got on the gourmand train and still did it in their way, so could be one to check out. I feel like if you're more into like the Jo Malone Ginger Biscuit, it's not the same scent by any means, but it's a gourmand done in a similar way is what I would say. Okay, let's talk about this one from Imaginary Authors. I saw this, I don't remember where, maybe in my email, but it was around Halloween, I want to say, where they were coming out with this limited edition dripped in chocolate. Not sure if it's still available, like how limited it actually was, but it was basically supposed to be like a chocolate version of Whiff of a Waffle Cone, and it intrigued me, okay? I like following kind of what Imaginary Authors does. I like the artistry overall that they do and just kind of more the ideas, even if some of the scents aren't my favorite. And I feel like this chocolate scent, it's definitely definitely a niche chocolate scent. So if you're going into this thinking it's gonna be that kind of artificial chocolate that you might get at Bath and Body Works, or I don't know, just that like already made up chocolate, and even that to me can kind of go stinky sometimes. This is a chocolate that to me is in some ways more refined, and you can kind of smell the parts of this fragrance. So the notes on the back here: chocolate, cardamom, vanilla ice cream, sandalwood, benzoin, Sumatra, and whiff of a waffle cone are in here. I can for sure smell some of that cardamom, and it almost smells like it has a bit of a patchouli base. Not overly, but it's just kind of spicy, and again, it's just a more, I think, elevated chocolate scent, and in that way, there is a bit of a, what I would call a stinkiness to it, but I know it's because it's gonna last on the skin, and I hope I'm explaining this right, because I don't want to scare people away from this scent, and maybe you would experience it different. I feel like in the sillage, I smell the most true chocolate, just deliciousness, but I feel like it's in that dry down, what's actually on my skin isn't as sweet and chocolatey in the same way. Again, it's more like I can smell the different pieces that are going in to make up a chocolatey scent. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully it does. If you're into chocolate, I think it's definitely one to smell. I think go into it though with more an expectation of Wicked Good from Gallagher fragrance than, again, something chocolatey from like Bath and Body Works. This doesn't smell like their chocolate candles. I feel like this is more niche. I feel like it's also better quality, not as synthetic smelling. And yeah, definitely one to still check out, but you gotta like chocolate and you gotta be kind of okay with that. So I don't think it's necessarily a safe blind buy, but I think you should check it out if you love chocolate and gourmands. Okay, I wanna talk about this Snif scent. This is the Honey Sweet, which they've already come out with a new one. I think it's Naughty Nona is what it's called, and it's from their No Noses line, and that's not here yet. So we'll talk about that at another time, but I did wanna talk about Honey Sweet. This is a honey fragrance. It's in collaboration with Professor Perfume. It's her second collaboration. She did Vow Factor as well, and a honey note can be difficult for me because to me it smells very animalic. Like I feel like honey smells like bee poop. Like I don't know, you know, like especially when it's done very realistic and not necessarily just like this sweet, again, kind of maybe more synthetic smelling honey. And so going in, I was like, we'll see what it is. I kind of had, you know, maybe it'll go that way, maybe it'll go this way. And I have to say, for a honey note, it's right on the line where it doesn't go too animalic for me, but it's also not only just sweet and syrupy. It has this refined, really beautiful quality to me. This smells like a more expensive perfume than it is, and I really appreciate that. And in some ways, it kind of reminds me of the honeyed version, and also with that saffron in here, version of Minuit et Demi. In a way, I don't know. Let me know if you've smelled both of those, if you kind of see where I'm going with it. But this is notes of honey, vanilla, broom, cedar, frankincense, saffron, lavender, and davina. And I feel like I definitely get that powderiness. I really like the way the saffron's coming in. It's kind of woody, it's still sweet, but definitely not as much of an edible gourmand as some of the other ones I've been talking about. This to me is more like a perfume. This smells like a perfume. This smells like a going out kind of fragrance, maybe like a date night kind of fragrance. It has something kind of sexy going on. But if you're not a fan of davina or lavender or honey, like if saffron isn't your thing, like those things are prominent. So just keep that in mind. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone for sure. And it's still not even my personal favorite, but I really appreciate the scent overall. And again, I think it smells expensive for the price point. So I was happy with that, even if it's not like a personal fave. Scent is so personal and everything's gonna work differently for everyone. I try with my reviews to let you guys know what I'm liking and what my personal scents are, but also just reviewing scents and what they smell like to me. So hopefully that can help you kind of navigate what's out there. I also do have a code with Snif. It's affiliated. They're doing their Black Friday sale right now, which isn't gonna be going on forever depending on when you see the video, but you can use that code to save some money if you want. And yeah, Heal the Way is probably my favorite scent. I think that's my favorite scent right now. Speaking of Heal the Way, which is like a pistachio cream scent, I went into Scent Bar. I love going into Scent Bar, and I got to smell Jousset, I think is how you say it, the Ciao Bello pistachio. I have tried so many pistachio scents, okay? I feel like pistachio is a hot note. Everyone wants a pistachio scent. And I definitely have some favorites, and I also have some that, again, they're not bad, but pistachio can go so cherry to me. It just smells kind of almondy, not actually that true nutty pistachio. And I felt like this was such a good one. It also has that kind of custardy thing going on, which I just love in a fragrance, okay? Yeah, this is a good pistachio. This is one of my favorite pistachio scents out there. I smell the nuttiness. It's super sweet. It kind of still has a little bit of that cherry almond as well, but I feel like I can actually smell the green nuttiness of the pistachio pistachio, even something a little bit toasted, maybe slightly salted, but it's all wrapped up in something very creamy and again, kind of custardy. I just really like this. I think it smells so good. I really like this one. It kind of has a little bit more of that waffle cone in the dry down, which again, I really like. It's just like a good scoop of pistachio ice cream in a freshly baked cone. I love it. I think it's great. Again, there's a lot of pistachio scents out there, and I think a lot of them can be pretty good, but this one, you know, it stood out to me in the sea of pistachios. This has notes of pistachio spread cream. Okay. Macaron, vanilla, marzipan, vanilla flour, waffle, pistachio, brioche, and ice cream. If you're into niche scents, you're into niche gourmand scents, I think it's one to check out for sure. It's really good. Okay, I think these are the last couple straight up perfumes. I have one here from Noyz. I'm like, which way do I hold it? Okay, it's this way. This is Unmute, and out of the 4 that they initially launched, I think they have 5 now. Unmute was my favorite, and they did send this to me. This is one of those kind of skin scent vanillas. Yeah, it's kind of ambery, so it has that kind of toasted scent to me where the vanilla's in the background. This doesn't smell like cake. It doesn't smell like frosting. It actually takes on more of like a vanilla vice or a ice cream cone, ice cream shop vanilla, the way that I've seen those done from different brands. It takes that on a little bit. I just feel like that amber on this one is really strong, and it gives it more of that kind of subdued skin scent, but in that addictive way. So I really love this. It also has some plum, and I feel like that adds a syrupiness to it, and it reminds me of a cheaper version, not exact by any means, so you know. When I say it's similar, I definitely don't mean dupe, but if you like Byredo Vanilla Antique, this could be something at a cheaper price point that gives you something similar. Notes on this: plum, Ceylon cinnamon, pistachio, clary sage, cassia, incense, Madagascar vanilla, and amber. It's doing vanilla a little different. Definitely not the most sweet, edible, yummy vanilla, but still in a way delicious, if that makes sense. I also feel like there's almost this buzzing warmth that comes from this fragrance that I think makes it a nice one for colder weather. Next year, I have Ledda's 20 Bourbon Brûlée. I was super excited to see this had launched, and I've bought all the Ledda perfumes that have come out, and I feel like this is my favorite one. I was really hopeful with a name like Bourbon Brûlée that it was going to be sweet and vanillic, and maybe a little bit more vanilla than the Nira fragrance she's done. This is definitely boozy and sweet. It has a pepperiness to it though. Definitely that spice is on it, and it's also a little woody, and I would say a little smoky as well. So if you're looking for a vanilla with a little bit more personality, this isn't just straight up vanilla, but that is kind of the underlying base, again, that kind of sweetness with something woody and kind of smoky, again, peppery. And when I was thinking my collection, when I smelled it, I was like, this reminds me of something, and it kind of is in the vein. I do think this smells more expensive, but it reminds me of Mix Bar's Vanilla Bourbon. If you like the way that vanilla is done, I think it would give you a good idea if maybe something like this would work for you. I really like it on my skin, and I feel like it's a way to wear something sweet without necessarily feeling maybe juvenile. And I was talking with a friend about this because I love smelling like straight up sweet, yummy vanilla, cupcake, like buttercream. Like I want to smell like that so bad. But sometimes there's a part of me that feels like I don't know if I want to like meet people like that. Although I only really ever get compliments when I do smell like that. So I don't know. But I think in my head, I guess, it can sometimes feel a little more juvenile or seem a little more juvenile to wear those vanillas. But I say wear them if you want to. But that being said, sometimes you just want to make a different first impression, or sometimes you just want something that feels a little bit more refined. And I feel like this is a peppery, spicy, woody, boozy vanilla that kind of fits that, where it smells perfumed, but it also smells sweet and edible instead of only being like you dipped yourself in frosting. Some of the notes on this, it says it has whiskey, vanilla bourbon. It also has caramel, black plum, tonka bean. I'm like looking at the notes here. Coconut milk. I don't necessarily get a ton of the coconut milk, to be honest. Heliotrope, and also some cedar and cypriol to give it a little something woody and smoky. So I really like this. And again, out of all the fragrances from the brand, I feel like this fits the line if you've smelled some of the other ones, but I do feel like it's the most like gourmand and yummy out of everything while still keeping the DNA. So very happy with this launch. This isn't my everyday vanilla, but I do definitely appreciate it. Last, for actual straight up perfume, I have this one from Le Monde Gourmand. This is Cerise, Riche. I like keeping up with them because their fragrances are very affordable. They retail for $25. I will say that is part of the lasting power. These do not have a ton of lasting power on them, but you know, they tend to do more foodie gourmand scents, as the name would suggest, and I like seeing what they're coming out with. And so this is a cherry scent. It also has chocolate. It's very chocolatey in kind of a spiced way, and the cherry on it isn't overly juicy, but it also doesn't go necessarily medicinal. It kind of smells like a cherry Tootsie Roll to me, and kind of like the other chocolate scent I talked about. It has what feels like almost a patchouli undernote to that chocolate. Like the way I experience it almost has a little bit of that spice, and in some ways stink, but spice, you know, to how that chocolate scent is coming across. And I don't know, this one's pretty good. I think it's worth a smell if you like chocolate, if you like cherry, if you like the idea of those two together. I find in the dry down, this kind of takes on almost a cologne-y smell. And I do feel like the cherry is slightly fleeting. I feel like in general, cherry notes are kind of hard to hang on in a fragrance throughout the wear. And especially at this price point, you know, again, the cherry is a little fleeting, but I almost find that something about the cold weather brings out that cherry scent more instead of just being that masculine cologniness in the dry down. So I don't know. I think again, for the price, pretty good. Could be something to check out. Just don't expect too much longevity from it. An interesting little launch. I think it's very appropriate for winter, and I do definitely get the cherry and the chocolate from this one. I do have some body mist to talk about, but I'm gonna talk about a few other things in case you were interested in them. They're definitely gourmands. The newest candle from the new Savant, this is the scent Early Light, and I really love this, guys. I actually have considered getting the big boy candle is what they call it, their big candle, because I like it that much. I've burned through quite a bit. It's just a really good vanilla. It's a little powdery, but not too much, and it just smells so good. I feel like the scent throws so good on it, and I love the Skylar Vanilla Sky candle, and although this is not the same, I'm just glad I found another vanilla candle out there that I actually really love. This has notes of rich espresso, steamed vanilla, speculoos cookie butter, caramel drizzle, sandalwood. It was that cookie butter that really was like, I gotta get this. I think this is gonna be really sweet, and I feel like a lot of the scents from the new Savant can be, you know, a little bit more experimental, I would say, while still being likable. Overall, you know, they just have their little moments, little like quirks, I would say, but this to me is just like a delicious vanilla while still feeling, again, kind of refined. So definitely one to check out. I really love this candle, and again, I'm very happy with the scent throw, even though it's a smaller candle. Okay, hello guys, I'm popping in here really fast before this video ends. Since it's all about gourmands, I recently learned that Cinnamon Dolce from Tree Hut is back as a scrub, so I'm gonna leave the link down below. It's at Target. I'm hoping it'll come in store soon too, but this is my favorite Tree Hut scrub. It beat cotton candy. It smells so good, so yummy. So in case you love this one too, I wanted to let you know it is back. It's back. I wanted to also shout this out, the EOS body lotion in Vanilla Cashmere. I feel like a lot of people were talking about this, and for I think it was like $10, and also for someone who, you know, body lotion, I try to keep it under control, okay? Because I don't always love body lotion on my skin. I try really hard when I'm out of the shower, and especially in the colder months, but this smells so good. This to me smells almost like birthday cake or something. Like, it's kind of cakey. It's just delicious and super foodie, but also still kind of light. Like, it's not overly scented where it's so strong you smell like you're sticky, but at the same time, you definitely smell yummy. You know, you smell so good. Pretty good. If you love a vanilla scent and you want something more affordable and want it to carry over into body care instead of just fragrance, I would suggest smelling this. I think I got it at Target, so it smells pretty good. I like putting it on my arms. I put it on my whole body once, and I kind of felt like, I don't know, like sweat couldn't get through the layer. Does that even make sense? But if I just put it on only certain parts, not like the full body, I like the feeling of that better. And I do overall think the texture of it's nice. It doesn't feel greasy or anything, but all over was a little too much of an experience for me. me texturally, you know what I mean? Okay, that being said, let's talk about some of these Victoria's Secret body mists. I went in there and wanted to smell them because I usually check out Bath & Body Works. I really tend to like the Bath & Body Works body mist, but I feel like this year for fall and winter, I don't know if it's just that I have a lot of the scents that have been re-promoted or what, but it just wasn't catching my eye. Like, there's tons of candles, there's tons of stuff, and I do think there are some good options in there if you're looking for some stuff, but it just didn't quite call out to me. But I felt like Victoria's Secret had a lot more vanilla gourmand options, and so they did their deals, you know how they are. I think it was 5 for $35 in the Victoria's Secret, and then pink was like $8 a piece. So I have a lot to talk about. I'm gonna run through the scents, but then I'll tell you what my absolute favorites are, the ones where if you're just gonna get one and not get sucked into the deal, those are the ones I suggest. Okay, we'll start with the Victoria's Secret side of things. They have a lot of limited edition right now, and they have Bare Vanilla, which is always available. Love that. If you're just looking for a straight up vanilla body mist, it's pretty good, very standard, just like, it's just good. It's just a good freaking vanilla. And I tend to love body mist specifically for more of a casual wear, something out of the shower, going to bed, hanging around the house. I just love that. They're not gonna last a long time. They are more affordable though because of that. And I feel like it could be nice to either switch up your scent or just kind of, you know, enjoy a little bit of scent without committing too much. All I'm trying to say with that is that I feel like they have a place. They're not for everyone, but I do feel like they have a place. Anyway, they have this Daydream line version of all of their kind of core scents, and the Bare Vanilla Daydream, so good. This is like my favorite one, guys. I'm so bad at spoiling everything, but it's true. This is my favorite one. It's Bare Vanilla, but a little fluffier, a little airier, a little cleaner smelling. It kind of reminds me just barely of 1111 Vanilla from Lake and Sky, and I freaking love that scent. So it's kind of like that, but I feel like it's a little creamier. It's a little creamier, a little more vanillic. It's just so good. It's not a super strong vanilla, like it's not gonna choke you out, but I like the kind of level that it is because it's still kind of girly and just, again, airy. I sprayed this after getting out of the shower the other day, and my husband went into the room and was like, it smells good in here. And I was like, it says it's so freaking good. So this one I truly think is a winner. It's a winner. All that being said, I like all these other ones. I think they're potentially worth the pickup, but it just kind of depends on you. I would suggest smelling them in store, but sometimes it also is difficult to know what anything smells like in store. It just, everything starts mixing, your nose just stops working. But another one from the Daydream line that I liked, this is the Velvet Petals, and I felt like this was a perfect almost no scent, and I know that sounds like, what the hell? Like, why would you even buy that? But it still has that kind of airy cleanness that I think the Daydream line in general kind of has and is bringing to all the core scents. This one has a little bit more florals, nothing specific that I can point out, but still so good. And it also has a little bit of that sweet cream scent to it. So if you don't want to have anything overpowering, you don't want anything with too much of a perspective, but you want to still smell clean and a little sweet, I feel like this might be a good option. Continuing on to some other scents, this is Rich Caramel Vanilla. It has notes of sweet violet. It says dark tonka and vanilla. It says it's addictive. And I feel like this, the best way I can describe it is it's very similar to Sweet Whiskey from Bath & Body Works, which is a scent I really love. I think it has kind of something toasted to it. It's vanilla. The caramel, luckily, on this is not stinky, which is great. I just feel like caramel can just smell like feet. Like, it can smell like vomit, it can smell like feet, it can get gross. It definitely has that kind of Sweet Whiskey vibe to it, so it could be a good one depending. I think I like Sweet Whiskey more overall though, and I definitely like the atomizer of the Bath & Body Works body mist better. This one kind of surprised me. This is Lush Cherry Cream, and this smells like cherry, but luckily not in like a medicinal way. It's more like a juicy kind of candy, maybe a little bit of spice on it. I don't know. It's just like a nice kind of juicy cherry, but not overly cherry. I wouldn't say this is overly cherry. It kind of just smells like juicy red. You know what I mean? It's pretty good. It has a little bit of that tartness, but nothing too much. It's not like tangy necessarily. It's pretty good. I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit different of a cherry scent than I was kind of expecting. So could be one to check out if you love a cherry note. And then last for the Victoria's Secret, this is Gilded Vanilla. And I feel like this is the more mature vanilla out of all of them. Still yummy, still, you know, a good vanilla, but it's more ambery and more of a skin scent. It's not nearly as sweet and also not as like edible of a vanilla. Although I feel like vanilla in any sense kind of is edible. This one's to me just a little more laid back. It also has jasmine in it, and I can smell that without it being like overly floral. So if you don't want to smell like sticky vanilla frosting or anything like that, vanilla cream, fluffy vanilla, you want something a little more low-key but still vanilla, this would be the one to go for. And then the real reason I went in there is because I wanted to smell the pink one. This is the Glazed Vanilla and Dreamy scent. It has vanilla donut, coconut creme, and soft caramel. The pink atomizers are worse than anything. They just spit at you. They're so bad. Something I definitely don't like, but this is probably the most sweet and kind of yummy, very gourmand out of all of them. I definitely pick up on the coconut in here, so it's like that creamy caramel and vanilla with that coconut note, and it also comes off a little showery, but this one's pretty good. I do like it. I just hate that freaking sprayer. I really hate that. If you're interested in something that's sweet and vanillic, but you are okay with that coconut twist, kind of again, a more fresh kind of showery coconut take, this one's pretty good. Just get past that sprayer. I know it's cheap, but that makes it feel even cheaper. And last year, this is the Glazed Warm and Cozy. Warm and Cozy is one of their core scents. It has notes of pink passion fruit, coconut sugar, and fluffy marshmallow. And it's a nice fruity scent that still smells kind of clean, still kind of cozy, and has a little bit of a softness to it. It doesn't necessarily smell like tropical by any means. It's just a nice one. I feel like this would be a good one getting out of the shower, but I really wish those pink scents would change the sprayer because it does just make it feel a little juvenile. And out of all those body mists, if you want just the one that I feel like is gonna last in your collection, that you're just gonna be like, damn, this is so good regardless of price, regardless of all this stuff, it's Bare Vanilla Daydream, baby. It's Bare Vanilla Daydream. It's so good. Love this one, love this one. But I am a big fan of the Bare Vanilla line. I do, I like it a lot. Well, those are all the gourmands I've been trying lately. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd love to know if you've tried any of these. What are your thoughts? How are you liking them? Especially when it comes to some of the perfumes like Choux, dipped in chocolate, the Vanilla Haze from Fugazzi. If you smelled Ciao, Bello, Pistachio also, let me know your thoughts. And of course, if you have other scents you think I would like that you want to recommend to me, let me know. I love trying out your guys' recommendations. I do my best to try as much stuff as I can that you guys recommend so I can give you thoughts. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.